Basically what we're up to at Evri is we are...
Well, first of all, who are you?
Okay, my name's Dhillon. I'm the CTO of Evri. But what we're up to is basically exposing the entity web. That's what we like to... One of the ways I like to think about it. So, if you're like most people and you think about the web, you tend to think about a web of websites. Am I talking this way?
No, that's fine because the light's better here.
Okay. You tend to think about a web of websites connected by hyperlinks to other websites or documents.
Okay.
And that's certainly the web that we all know and love. But it turns out that there's another web that's existed since humans wrote down their first sentence. And this is the web of entities, meaning people, places, or things, connected by language itself to other people, places, and things.
Very cool.
So what we're up to, one easy way to think about our system is it's like an army of 7th grade grammar students armed with a very large dictionary. So we're basically building a very large knowledge base of entities, meaning actors, actresses, politicians, pretty much any named entity that you can think of. And then we're also taking that information and we are using this sort of army of 7th grade grammar students, if you will, to do a very deep linguistic grammatical analysis of unstructured text, meaning
so
blogs.
who would you compete with, or what? Are you going to compete with Facebook? Because it sounds like Facebook is doing that sort of, because you can look me up on Facebook and find me and find out that I'm into skiing and find out that I'm into...
So what's different between, so Evri is very different from Facebook. So on Facebook, you're connected to your friends, basically, and people that you have contacts with. At Evri, what we're doing is there's blog content, news content, web content that's written every day about people a lot more famous, than me. And so people like Barack Obama, the president, actresses, actors, etc. And so what we're doing is we're automatically distilling all of the relationships between these entities, and then we're building sort of a new generation of content recommendation and information navigation applications on top of that. So,
cool.
So for example, one application that we just launched on the Washington Post on Friday is every reader of the Washington Post, and as they read a particular article, what our system's doing is taking that article, sending it back here to Evri, and doing sort of a very exhaustive analysis of the text, very similar to what a human does. Actually reading the text, breaking it up into sentences, trying to understand each sentence, trying to understand and resolve all of the anaphora or the pronouns, and basically figuring out what the most sort of relevant entities are, people, places, things in that article. And
are you looking at sentiment as well, or like can you tell it's a news article about something bad, or or that it's a happier, more feature-ish kind of article? Or?
Certainly, you could build a lot of applications on top of our sort of deeper level understanding. But so for example, for each sentence, we know who the grammatical subject is, the verb, the grammatical object, all the stuff that we learned back in 7th grade grammar class. But we're also able to kind of put it all together and see, get a ranked list of the most relevant, people, places, or things, as well as being able to sort of extract all of the cues it takes to recommend articles, images, videos based, on not just the entity, meaning like not just the person, place, or thing, but based on the article itself.
So what does the Washington Post get out of this? What did you do to improve their customers' experience, I guess?
Yeah, so the Washington Post, like other major media providers, has an interest in encouraging their users to stay on their site and be able to sort of get exposed to more content on their site. So one of the things that the widget does is if you're reading an article about published today all about the the economic situation, for example, there'll be recommended articles, not just based on the article, but based on specific entities. So maybe the article contains a reference to Barack Obama and Detroit and the automakers union. So if you click on that combination of entities, you'll get recommended articles from the Washington Post all about specifically the stimulus package in the context of Detroit and Obama.
Now, Washington Post, I bet, is paying you money. What about for an individual blogger? Can I use Evri on my blog to do the same thing that the Washington Post is doing, or or are you aimed at only bigger enterprises that have
tons
of cash?
Yeah,
to buy that kind of stuff?
we're definitely going after the mass consumer market, which includes lowly bloggers like myself, all the way up to sites as big and dominant as as the Washington Post. So yeah, you just have to go to our website. We have a partners and bloggers page there. We've got a couple widgets that are there that you can install today, out on your blogs. We also have a whole bunch more that are in the works. We've got an exhaustive API if you're a developer and you want to build other widgets or other applications. We've got forums where you can ask questions, and you can pretty much take advantage of the entity web and build any kind of application you want.
Can you show me real briefly what it looks like?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And you guys have, this is your offices here. You got quite a peep.
All of us right there, yeah.
Yeah. And who are you, by the way?
I'm Chris Barrows. I work in business development and marketing here.
Very cool. So, yeah. It's video. It's Fast Company TV. Yeah.
So why don't we start off on the Washington Post. Let me try to get something that just got published. Okay, so let's see. So here's an article about Barack Obama leaving. Let's see what it's about. Barack Obama leaves D.C. to sign the stimulus bill, and so it's kind of talking about President Obama, his stimulus package. There's some references to the White House, etc. So as we get down here at the bottom of the article, we see sort of, this is Evri's widget. What Evri's widget has done is taken this article and analyzed it and found sort of the most prominent entities within it. The other thing it did was, as you see here, there's sort of the Washington Post section where we've got related articles that the user can go click on and see.
Yeah.
So that's this particular section's not really terribly new. There's been companies that have done this for a while. But what you can also do is you can sort of click on an entity like Obama here. You can find kind of the other entities that are related to Obama. Now what you're doing,
So this is really cool. So you can see Biden, Congress, White House, Washington.
Yep.
So you could go, you could get lost here, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, so at this point what we're seeing are articles related to this article, but specifically in the context of Obama.
Yeah.
So we're kind of applying more weight to it. And if we click here on Biden, now we're seeing recommendations between Biden, Obama, and this article. And now, if the user decides, gosh, I'd really like to find out more about Obama, they can click here and they come back to Evri.com's Barack Obama page. And so now what we have is, an experience that's taking advantage, as I mentioned, there's this sort of relatively static information from the from our knowledge base. So I mentioned that our system's kind of like an army of 7th grade grammar students armed with a really large dictionary. So the very large dictionary, or the knowledge base, services a lot of this information. So we've got like descriptive information from Wikipedia, but we've got sort of factual information. Barack Obama's birth date, place, religious date, etc. But in addition to that, we've got some other key features. So we're connecting Barack Obama to other key entities that are in the zeitgeist, sort of like right now. So we're continuously indexing, all the news content that's out in the, in the zeitgeist.
That's pretty brilliant, because I see Winston Churchill is connected to Barack Obama. Now, that might not make sense.
Well, let's click on it and find out.
Well, I can tell you he just returned a statue of Winston Churchill to England.
Yeah.
And that's why they're connected. That's pretty brilliant.
And that's right there. So when we clicked on it, on Winston Churchill, we see Barack Obama sends bust of Winston Churchill on his way back to Britain.
Now, if I refresh this page every day, would I see different videos and different news articles on
this
here?
page is being updated every few minutes. So, we're continuously updating and we're continuously indexing every new article, articles as they get published in the blogosphere, on the web, and in news.
Now, of the news that maybe Google News looks at, how much do you look at? How many sources are you looking at? Are you looking at just the Washington Post, or are you looking at?
No.
You're looking at broader.
So we currently are indexing, thousands of RSS feeds from most of the most sort of common news publishers. We're also indexing, many blog feeds. We're continuing to increase the amount of feeds that we index, and we also have a crawl and a spider that goes out and indexes the web as well. So we're continuing. We're a small startup. We're doing a very deep analysis of the text, so it's difficult for us to index the entire web. But we're doing. We're constantly getting hardware and indexing as much as we possibly can.
Well, you're just down the street from Amazon. You could shove a bunch more on their servers too.
Yeah, we can, and we do take advantage, of services like EC2. But we also have, pretty stringent performance needs. So we really need to make sure that our system is, responding in milliseconds and doing a good job. Yeah. So, I'll show you just a couple more things that are interesting. One of the things is, so we've got these sort of dynamically determined categories. So this is kind of like, as of right now, Barack Obama, is linked to a baseball team, which that one's kind of curious. It stands out for me. So let's see why. So apparently the Cubs just invited Barack Obama to spring training. If we click on, the Boston Red Sox, apparently, we're now getting connections between Barack Obama and the Red Sox. Here's one more thing that sort of takes advantage of the 7th grade grammar students. If we click on a...
No, when you say 7th grade grammar students, you mean an algorithm? So,
I mean, yeah, an army
there's not a bunch of 7th grade grammar students right here.
we don't hire grammar students, although we do spend an awful lot of time training our algorithms to perform as well as them. But here we see, so Barack Obama is performing an activity of visiting. And so if we click on, Indiana, we'll see what do we mean by that. Well, it turns out that Barack Obama, has visited Ohio, Virginia, Indiana, Florida, and Colorado. So because we're doing this very sort of deep linguistic analysis of each and every sentence that we index, we're able to figure out, exactly how, a particular entity, in this case like Barack Obama, interacts with another one. It turns out that he's visiting these places. If he's being criticized by somebody, or if he's praising someone, or something, we'll sort of see that as well.
Very cool. So where can I learn more? Obviously, I can go to the Washington Post and look at the bottom of a news article, and you'll see your little logo down there and your little widget.
Yeah. Or you can just come to Evri.com.
EVRI.
Yeah. If you come to evri.com, you'll get tossed into our homepage here. You can see sort of start with a popular person, see what's going on in business, entertainment, sports. Or you can actually just type in an entity. I'll show you one other thing.
Can you type in my last name there and see?
Yeah, let's see.
Scoble, S-C-O-B-L-E.
S-C-O-B-L-E.
Yeah.
There you are. Let's see. You're Robert?
Yep. So it knows all about me.
Right. Yeah, we got pictures of you.
Yet another way to stalk me.
Yeah, we've got videos of you. Yeah, all kinds of
I'm going to be the most stalked person in history, I think. We just saw some other tools here in Seattle. What's it like working here in Seattle?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
As you can see, we've got beautiful offices here in Pioneer Square. We're just across the street from the water. Wonderful restaurants and fine drinking establishments and all that too. Yep. So yeah, it's a blast. Plus,
we might be found in a few of them tonight. So.
Yeah, good.
Well, thank you so much for giving me a little look at what you guys are doing.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
And so business-wise, what are you guys looking? Obviously, you're looking for other companies like the Washington Post to integrate your widgets on and integrate your service.
For right now, we're trying to talk to as many publishers, large and small, as possible. So that's kind of the aim for right now.
So like I work for Fast Company magazine. What would we do together? How do I enter that? How much do I have to pay you, and how does that work? Yeah.
I think the business arrangements can be different for any company. So it's just kind of starting a conversation. The goal is obviously just to help you do better on all of your pages. So we think we can do that. So
it sure looks like it. So I'm pretty excited.
That's the hope.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.